Hey guys, welcome to BP, the Bible Perspective. Do they stand up for all women? I'm talking about the dynamic mother and daughter legal team here. Now, before we do, please like and share this video and subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective. And as always, if you have a thought or comment, add it to the comment section below. All comments are welcome. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the screen here. Now, I'm referring to the dynamic legal team of Gloria Allred and Lisa Bloom, mother and daughter. Now, they actually have two separate law firms, but they are champions for women, representing many women on many fronts. And of course, when the Me Too movement hit, they represented a lot of women, which brings me to what I wanted to focus on was these two high-profile men who actually went down because of the Me Too movement. And what I want to focus on and talk about is Gloria Allred went hard after Bill Cosby, but yet they totally ignored Harvey Weinstein. And I want to explore why, because I'm disappointed in them, especially Lisa Bloom, for this hypocrisy. And let's talk about this. Now, without a doubt, Bill Cosby, a man of his time, fell because of the Me Too movement. And while the Me Too movement was good in that it gave voice to decades, right, of abuse and harassment that women received, but yet had no recourse. And one of the reasons why is because they were victims of these powerful men. Powerful men that could ruin their careers, fire them, And now in the Me Too movement, it said, hey, you know what? It finally gave voice. Well, one of the issues with Bill Cosby was he was accused by multiple women of harassment, and of course, as the media dubbed it, that he was accused by 40 women of rape, which was a lie. He wasn't, but he was accused of harassment, and the harassment. Some of the most notable, well, I should say not notable, but horrific accusations was he would drug women and then do whatever he wanted with them. Sometimes it wasn't necessarily intercourse, but he would just do whatever. Most of the accusations were unfounded. There were a few that were serious. And the one that landed him in prison, which eventually was overturned by the Supreme Court, was one where he paid out a reported $20 million settlement. And that's what made the case wrong. That's why the Supreme Court overturned it, because it never should have went to trial. And that was one of the problems with the Me Too movement, was that it gave way to too many accusations, no matter how small. In other words, you had the term believe women, and that came out to believe them for whatever. Believe them whatever they said, whatever the accusation, we were just to believe them, not even to go through due process. And that hurt the Me Too movement, but that's not what I'm here to kind of explore. What I'm going to say is that here you had Gloria Allred, who went hard after Bill Cosby, and then after his conviction was overturned, she represented another accuser who accused him when she was 16. Now, she is, I believe, in her late 50s or early 60s now, which means that was 40 years ago. And again, here's the problem with the Me Too movement accusations. She actually won this, by the way. She won I think some $500,000 But here's my problem: that if first of all, she was a 16-year-old at the Playboy Mansion, so that's stop there, right? Big question: why was a 16-year-old in that kind of environment? And then two, if you frequented the Playboy Mansion, if you worked at the Playboy Mansion as a woman, who didn't grope you? Who didn't experience that kind of harassment? And so my point is, shouldn't a whole lot of other men should have been brought up on charges? So why did Gloria only go so hard after Cosby? Hold that thought for a minute. And then you have Mr. Harvey Weinstein, who is a giant was, I should say, a giant in the movie industry. I mean, if you wanted a movie made, he was the man. He wielded a lot of power. And as a result, he was a monster. He abused women, took advantage of women. And what could you do, right? You couldn't say anything, you couldn't, because he could literally ruin your career. Now, eventually, he was tried on multiple accusations, and now he's in jail. Now that brings me back to now Gloria Allred and Lisa Bloom. Why were they silent on Harvey Weinstein and yet went hard after Bill Cosby? Why the hypocrisy? Well, come to find out, Lisa Bloom was friends with Harvey Weinstein, and on top of that, she had a deal in the works, a movie. Now, the irony of that was that that movie would have been a civil rights movement. Okay, it would have been like some kind of civil rights connection there. But nevertheless, if you present yourself as champions for women, what about all of the victims of Harvey Weinstein that you ignored? That's the hypocrisy. While at the same time, you decided to go after Bill Cosby. Now, some, no doubt, would accuse them of racism, and I don't believe either one are racist. I just believe that they were hypocrites in this case here, that they fell because of their friend. But they were still hypocrites, and for that, they deserve the criticism. All right, guys, that's my perspective. And don't forget to like and share this video, and subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective. If you have a thought or comment, add it to the comment section. And remember, all comments are welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time.